What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Frunkla. I think we are live. So, Bionano Genomics is going to be reporting their second quarter earnings today. Immediately the market close, we are going to know what the earnings results are, and then after 30 minutes after the market closes, we are going to be hearing from the CEO, the chief financial officer, the chief business officer, and perhaps the chief medical officer, Dr. Al Kashabi, about what they have done so far in the first half of this year. So we are going to be talking about all the bullish cases of Bionano Genomics because I can't wait to share a lot of information with you guys. This is my first video in over a week now because my family has literally expanded, and that's why I haven't made any video so far. So first of all, we are going to be talking about the price action of Bionano Genomics because we still have about 15 minutes before the market close. And then normally I'm supposed to start this live. I was supposed to start this live stream in the next 15 minutes, but we have a lot of things to discuss. Hopefully I can cover as much as possible before the market closes, before we get the report of the second quarter earnings. Then we're gonna have like 30 minutes after the market close, to listen to the calls, to hear from the CEO about what is going on and what we should be expecting in the second quarter of this year. So right now, Bionano Genomics is up about 3.7%, and I mean we have been going up for over a week now. Okay, back in 5th of July, we used to trade around 1.39 US dollars, and then I would literally be begging people to watch my video. Okay, it wasn't easy for me. I was making video and getting like 250 views, and I was like, what is going on? I was buying the dip. Right now, my positions are up over 200%. I am banking, baby. So right now, the share price of Bngo is trading around 2.34 US dollars, up about 3.7% today. And today we are going to be hearing from the CEO what is going on with the company. We've had a couple of press releases, okay, since my last video, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't come on board and discuss it with you guys. Some super bullish news, okay, about Bionano Genomics. And guys, please, if you can hear me, if everything is okay, let me know in the comment section. What's going on, Landver? What's going on, Sijord? How are you doing? Cabo, what's going on? Rainbow Bob, what's going on, guys? Victor, are you there? What is going on? And you guys can of course use the comment section to discuss what is going on with Bionano Genomics, what you expect, okay, BNGO to announce, because in this second quarter they are expected to report an estimate of minus 9 cent, okay, 0.09. Let's see what they are going to report. But in my opinion, okay, let me be truth with you, let me just be truthful with you guys. In my opinion, this second quarter earnings don't really matter, guys. I mean, I want to share something with you guys that is, I am super, I'm stoked, I'm bullish, I'm hyped, I'm everything about, okay. And these earnings, because a lot of you guys are focused on these earnings, and if they come out and like always report some negative number, then you guys are going to be like, okay, this company is going nowhere and so on and so forth. But I want to share something with you guys that is super important. Forget about these earnings, okay. Because over the past few days, Bionano Genomics, they have been sharing a lot of information with you guys, with us, and then we have had a lot of experts talking about what is going on with the Sapphire device. I am going to discuss with you guys adoption, okay, which of course is something that is very important for this company, because we want them to literally put Sapphire device in every cytogenetic labs out there, to analyze genomes for optical for structural variation. So first of all, I want to quickly take a look at the share price of BNGO, the price action, for a few minutes, and then we can dive into the bullish thesis of Bionano Genomics. What I want to share with you guys, the fundamental analysis. This is what is going on with the technical analysis, guys. I remember making several videos, okay, over I think it's over 30 videos about what is going on right here. And for those of you that are channel members, I normally share a lot of information with you guys every day. How to buy the dip perfectly, how to buy this, for example, how to buy this higher low here, higher low here, and how to ride it safely. And when the price was literally here, I was telling you guys that we are consolidating. You guys can, I think I still make couple of public videos as well, that the price was consolidating and the breakout was coming, okay. I mean, this is not rocket science. That is what is going on right now. I could remember when the price was literally here, a lot of people commented, and their comments was negative. that this company was going nowhere. All I was doing was just laughing, like, you guys, you have no idea what is coming. Now we have the 50 daily moving average. Okay, this is the dailies. We have the 50 daily moving average. When the price moved above this 50 daily moving average, I made a post to channel members that it is happening. Okay, this is bullish. This is very bullish. And right now we have the 21 daily moving average. It has literally crossed the 50 daily moving average, and those are the kind of bullish signals you are looking for whenever something in a bearish trend, a bearish market. If you want to go in safely, these are the kind of signals you look for, and that's what we got, like, about almost 2 weeks ago, beginning of towards the end of July. Okay, now this is what is happening. All we are waiting for right now is this moving average, 50 daily moving average, to cross this 100 daily moving average, and then you guys know what's gonna happen. Bullish to the moon, baby, to the moon. Now, to end this, because I don't want to talk too much about the price action, we have Bionano Genomics. At the beginning of this year, the price of BNG started around $3. That is the target before the end of the year. We want to see Bionano Genomics price moving above $3, okay, so that we can close 2022 in green positively. That is the target till December. For those of you that bought every dip, I believe you are also in massive profits right now. For those of you that have been dollar cost averaging, hopefully you managed to drop your average below $2. And for those of you that have your average still above this level towards $5, there is nothing to be worried about, as long as you have a long time horizon of, let's say, 2-3 years. Okay, because we know a lot of things is still going to happen with this company. I think that is that about the price action. Okay, the target is $3. Right now we are still heading to the moon. Maybe we get to this moving average. This is the 200 daily moving average, around $2.55, and then we're going to see some consolidation, or maybe the price will come down after earnings. You guys shouldn't be discouraged. Okay, if the price comes down after earnings, it's literally probably going to just set a new higher low, just like a higher low. I am waiting for, I would love to see price to come down to this level so that I can add to my position, but you and I both know that nobody knows tomorrow. Now, that is that about the price action of Bionano Genomics. Now, this is a bullish case, guys. On the 3rd of this month, I think it was on the 2nd of this month, this is MD Anderson Cancer Center, and this center right here is literally the largest in the world. Okay, look at their Twitter page. They have about 127,000 followers on Twitter. Now, they made a tweet few days ago. Okay, that is what I want to share with you guys right now, and this right here is something that I have been waiting for months. Okay, since last year, because I consulted an expert in the USA, somebody that knows a lot about Bionano Genomics, about optical genome mapping and so on and so forth. And this guy told me that if MD Anderson Cancer Center adopt Bionano Genomics Sapphire device, it's going to be massive. Now, MD Anderson Cancer Center made a tweet few days ago, just 2 days ago. Where is it? So this is it right here. They made a retweet of a tweet from Dr. Rashmi Kanaga Shamana, MD. Okay, this lady is an hematopathologist, molecular pathologist, director of molecular diagnostic lab at MD Anderson Cancer Center, and she made a post, okay, a tweet about a new discovery that the Sapphire device has been able to do. And this, in my opinion, I don't know how I can explain this to you guys. This is massive, guys. This is massive. If MD Anderson Cancer Center, with over 100,000 Twitter followers, okay, is sharing this massive discovery from one of their experts, you guys should already know that they are already piloting the Sapphire device. I've told you guys several times that I believe MD Anderson Cancer Center is piloting the Sapphire device. How many Sapphire devices they are presently using, I don't know. They are not mentioning it. And I also told you guys that it is possible that they have signed a non-disclosure with Bionano Genomics. Okay, that is possibly one of the reasons why Bionano Genomics has literally not spoken about MD Anderson Cancer Center. But for my own research, I found out that MD Anderson Cancer Center was using Sapphire device. How many? I don't know. Now, if they come up with this study and they are about to eliminate old method of analyzing genomes and replace it with the Sapphire device, this is massive. Okay, we have about 7 minutes before the market closes. Now, according to this lady, she wrote, I quote, "Our latest MDS study published in at Leukemia Journal today, high resolution structural variant profiling of myelodysplastic syndromes by optical genome mapping uncovers cryptic aberrations of prognostic and therapeutic significance. So if they are saying prognostic and therapeutic, you guys already know that this is standard of care. Now, for those of you wondering what the market opportunity is, okay, in terms of just MD Anderson Cancer Center, I think this is more than, I'm going to just keep it as because anybody that has cancer, for example, if they go into this MD Anderson Cancer Center, for example, and they want to analyze their genomes for whatever is going on, or they want to use the Sapphire device to check this person, one test is minimum of $450, okay, a minimum of $450, and I believe that person needs to run several tests, okay, not one, at least they have to run it like maybe 4 times, and we are talking about over $150 million in my opinion, because we have over 90,000 cases of this kind of situation in the United States and in the world as well. Over 90,000 cases, I believe, worldwide. Now we are also talking about ALL, we are talking about BLL, we are talking about all sort of leukemia, but this is only about where is it? This is only about MDS. Okay, this is only about MDS. Now if you go into all of this study, you can see what exactly they spoke about, how this OGM is greater than CBA. I made this tweet a couple of minutes ago. Okay, we are still going to go deep into it a little bit before the market closes. We have about 6 minutes. I'm already sweating. So this is the press release from Bionano Genomics. On Monday, they dropped this bombshell. For those of you wondering why Bngo is mooning right now, this is one of the reasons why Bngo is mooning. I need to reduce this because I don't want to cover the whole thing. Now, this is why Bionano Genomics has been going higher since Monday. One of the reasons, of course, Bionano Genomics announced publication of landmark research study in MDS showing OGM data would result in revised prognostic risk classification or additional actionable variants in 28% of study participants. Now, that is the massive thing. First study to evaluate the utility of optical genome mapping for MDS prognostication. And then the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center, guys, this is massive. OGM was used instead of karyotyping. Okay, Bionano Genomics want to get rid of karyotyping, guys. We want to replace karyotyping worldwide. That is the mission. Now, we have already replaced, all Southern blot, for example, we already replaced it. If MD Anderson Cancer Center can replace their karyotyping analysis with Bionano Genomics optical genome mapping Sapphire device, that is the mission. Okay, how many devices they are going to acquire, I'm still waiting to see, because this is more or less like a Netflix series. I want to see the 4th season, 2nd season, 3rd season. And so it continues. It says the comparison to NGS showed that the utility of OGM above and beyond that of karyotyping is not provided by NGS. Okay, next generation sequencing, guys, this area is just for Bionano Genomics optical genome mapping, not for next generation sequencing, not for Pac Bio, Illumina, 10S Genomics or whatever. 10S Genomics comes a little bit closer, but we are talking about Sapphire device, guys. That is the golden standard. Now, corresponding author Dr. Rashmi, this is what she has to say about this. Now, check this out, guys. The results of this study demonstrate that we are grossly under-evaluating the degree of genomic aberrations. Most patients with high-risk MDS are not responsive to available therapies. Okay, most patients are not responsive, oh my God, to available therapies, pointing to the urgent need for new therapeutic alternatives that will improve the clinical outcome of these patients and better tools to help in that pursuit. This study underscores the potential for OGM to become a single platform cytogenetic tool. Single platform, guys, not combination with karyotyping or other old method of analyzing genomes. The one and only platform for analyzing structural variants profiling in indications such as MDS, and shows that when OGM and NGS are combined, the success rate of finding pathogenic variants is higher than with any traditional methods in use today. Guys, these are the kind of things that I want to be hearing from experts. Those of you that are going to say, yes, Bionano Genomics has been dropping press releases after press releases, breaking news. Anytime Dayo, for example, makes video about a breaking news, some people laugh at me like, you have been posting breaking news after breaking news, but nothing has been happening. You have to understand that we are talking about medical section right there. I mean, this industry is literally the slowest industry in the world. Okay, they are very slow. You need to come up with studies just like this one. You need to convince, convince the reimbursement companies, insurance companies, so that they can cover the cost. You need to do this, do that before, most of all this. For example, FDA approval, for example, we are still going to talk about that as well. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of money, and God so good, Bionano Genomics has over $200 million still in their bank, which they can use until they get to this profitable, because we need Bionano Genomics to be profitable. They need money. They are still employing talent after talent and so on and so forth. They need to keep pushing and get to this promised land. Now let's continue. We have, oh my god, the market is about to close. So Bionano Genomics is going to be dropping their earnings result very soon. In addition to driving the reclassification of prognostic risk in up to 21% of subjects, the results show that OGM detected pathogenic variants that traditional methods meets in 13% of study. Okay, I'm going to turn on my, because I don't want to miss the we need to see the earnings and see what BNGO is going to report. The market is going to close in 1 minute. Bionano Genomics is up about 3.3% today. Like I already shared with you guys, I'm not really super interested about what is gonna happen in Q2, because we all know Q2 is not really what is important. Is what I'm reading to you guys. Adoption of the Sapphire device. Okay, MD Anderson Cancer Center, all these large laboratories out there acquiring, adopting Sapphire device. And I also shared a breaking news with you guys on my Twitter. We have the first installment of the Sapphire device in Australia, and you guys can go to my Twitter page and you can go and check it out. Okay, the market has closed. So Bionano Genomics finished today 3.98%, closed at 2.35 US dollars. So the market has closed. Let's see. I'm going to go to bionanogenomics.com and see what they are going to be filing, what they are going to be reporting. This is very, very interesting, guys. This is very, very interesting. So bionanogenomics.com, we have to go to the investors page and see what they are going to be filing. New SEC filings, July 18. So nothing yet. I have to be refreshing this page. Nothing yet. So I need to open literally open all my all right, so I'm going to move this out of this page so that I can keep refreshing it right here. And Bionano Genomics, so this, we are done with this. So let's just keep refreshing this so that we can see what is going on with BNGO once we have the results. Then we can talk about the earnings, the second quarter earnings, and then we can talk about I still have a lot of information to share with you guys. A lot of bullish fundamental analysis information to share with you guys on this stream. So first of all, we are going to wait for BNGO results, and then we are going to keep talking about those things that I want to share with you guys. Then we are going to listen to the earnings call together and hear what BNGO has done in the first half of this year. Okay, I have been sharing a lot of information about inflation, about the price of oil, the price of gas, how I was monitoring all those things. Okay, how I was able to figure out the bottom of the market, and right now I am sitting on some very good profits right now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I made a tweet few days, I think it was 2 days ago or so. I made a tweet about my portfolio, because I am not diversified, guys. I'm just into Tesla and BNGO, and I mean, all right, guys. So somebody said something is wrong with my mic. I think it's fine. I'm not this studio is not really. Let me keep refreshing this page. Yahoo Finance. Crazy Yahoo Finance. So far there is no filings. No filings. But I'm gonna keep refreshing this. I'm going to keep tracking some of my boys and see if anybody has seen the results. So nothing yet so far. Nothing yet so far. All right, so while we are at it, this right here is what I have been able to, Tesla. I've been able to, when Tesla was trading around 910 US dollars, I was up like 172%. When BNG was trading around 2.24, I was up around 161%. And these are the averages that I'm just sitting on right now, 677, 1.69. So just a short information for anybody wondering how Dayo is doing. I'm doing very good. All right, so nothing so far. We are still waiting to see what is. I'll keep refreshing it. What we just want to see is the what BNG, how many Sapphire devices they have managed to install, and where is that my page? Buying okay, so this right here is what we are waiting to see. We want to know what the installed base of the Sapphire device presently is, okay, because in the first quarter we closed in at 176 Sapphire devices installed, okay, this right here. So we just want to see how many they have managed to install in the second quarter. But I think the best part is going to happen in the second half of this year, the third quarter of this year, okay. BNGO, they have a target, okay. Nothing so far. I don't see anything so far. BNGO, they have a target of 240, so no filings. Also, they have a target of 240 Sapphire device till the end of this year, okay, install base, and I think they are going to beat it, okay. I think they are going to beat it because everything I'm reading so far from this MD Anderson Cancer Center, it's it's getting me hyped. So like I already shared with you guys from the beginning of this video, this second quarter don't really matter. I don't think anything massive anything crazy is going to happen. If anything, we are going to consolidate, and in the next couple of days the rally is going to continue. How did I know that? If you take a look at what happened with Pac Bio reported their earnings yesterday, and after our Pac Bio was down about -8%, but today Pac Bio closed. Let's see how many percentage Pac Bio closed. Okay, after they reported their earnings, they missed everything. So Pac Bio closed today 11.5%, guys, 11.5%. At one point they were up about 20 something percent. I even made a tweet about that. I don't think Pac Bio investors are. I think Pac Bio is very risky right now if you want to compare it to Bionano Genomics. So if you guys have anything, let me know. 70% revenue growth year over year. Okay. I can't find anything here, guys. Nothing. After hours, there is always fishy like 100. I cannot find anything so far, guys. I'm still waiting to see if I can. There's no filings so far. Bionano Genomics. The after hour is okay. The after hour is doing good. It's not really doing anything crazy. I'm going to try and search, perhaps. If you guys have you guys seen the earnings already? Can you guys just share it with me? Because I cannot find anything. Bionano Genomics. Q2 2022. I'm going to try and search. Maybe something is already there that I am missing. Nothing. Press release. Okay, press release. I was already going to the sec. I'm going to go to the press release and see what's going on, guys. News release. Okay. All right, guys. So I have it. Bionano Genomics. So I have it. Thanks so much. That's why I love you guys. So I have it. We have the results right here, guys. We have the results. Second quarter 2022 result is in, and All right, the conference is going to start in the next 23 minutes. So let's take a look at it. Bionano Genomics, pioneer of optical genome mapping solutions on the Sapphire system and provider of NS clinical software, leading blah 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 blah. Today reported financial results for the second quarter ended June 30th, 2022. Now the company executed its commercial strategy built blah 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 blah. Okay, so notable highlights since second quarter. Okay, I'm just going to keep highlighting this one by one, okay? Now, notable highlights since the end of Q2 2022. A paper was published in Leukemia from MD Anderson Cancer Center. I told you guys. MD Anderson Cancer Center, and demonstrating the utility of OGM for MDS prognostication. The authors reported that in up to 28% of MDS participants in the study using optical genome mapping instead of traditional methods of analysis would have resulted in a different prognosis, blah 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 blah. Okay, we already know about that. Nothing big. I already shared information about that with you guys at the beginning of this live stream, so you can easily just go back. Business highlights in Q2 2022. Total revenue $6.7 million US. Okay, nothing big. We already know they wanted to report that price, that revenue, so it's not a big surprise. They were planning to report between 6.4, I believe, and 6.8, something like that. So grew the installed base of Sapphire system to from 176 at the end of Q1 2022 by 20. Okay, this is good. This is good. By 20 to 196. This right here is good. I spoke about this during one of my videos that we need BNU to be reporting 20 and above Sapphire devices being installed. Okay, 20 and above. So you guys can already tell that during the second quarter of this year, I don't think BNG really sell any massive Sapphire device to MD Anderson Cancer Center. They are still in that process. I believe MD Anderson Cancer Center is going to be, adopting huge number of Sapphire device. We are talking about over 20 devices, okay? Now, the installed base grew 62%. This is good. 62%, okay? Compared to Q2 2021. The addition to the installed base of 20 systems in the second quarter of 2000 is 67% higher than the 12 systems that were added in the first quarter of this year. BNG added 12 systems. Okay, now in the second quarter they added 20 systems. I'm going to change this color so that we can at least differentiate. So the install base is right now 196. Okay, 196. Now they sold 3,394 nano channel array flow cells during Q2 2022, a 24%. Okay, this could be the reason why the share price of BNG right now is not really going higher. Okay, this right here. Okay, I spoke about it that we need to see higher numbers. Okay, I'm still going to go into my what is it called, and I'll share it with you guys. Okay, my 9-year projection of the what I expect, where I expect Bionano Genomics to be. So this, in my opinion, is red. I need to see them to report over 3,500 nano channel arrays. Okay, they reported less than that. This could be the reason why the share price is down, after hours. Now, presented the latest research on OGM, blah blah blah, cancer research, annual meeting, blah 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 blah, LGBT. Okay, those are some of the meetings. Now, as mentioned, as a highlight after the close of Q1, launched version 6.2 NS clinical software. Okay, this one is good for the second quarter with the integration, blah 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 blah, HRD, and then biomarker, blah blah. Okay, announced together with Hamilton. Okay, this one is also good. This is right here, the preparation. Okay, the long string Vantage. That is the new device that Bionano Genomics and Hamilton literally developed and designed, developed, and so on and so forth, which of course is going to enable for isolation of ultra high molecular weight UHMWDNA. Okay, this one is good. And I want to hear during the earnings call if Bionano Genomics, if they have managed to sell some of these devices. Okay, I want to hear during the earnings call if they have managed to sell this device that they came up with, long street Vantage. We want to see how many has been adopted and so on and so forth. Okay, now this announcement was made about 2 months ago, so I don't really expect it to reflect in the second quarter earnings. These kind of things are expected for the third quarter. Okay, it was too early for, it was too late for second quarter, so this is not really something for second quarter. It's for the third and fourth quarter, and then other quarters. So Q2 publications include the study of the University Hospital, Belgium, blah, blah, blah. They made a lot of study, which of course you guys have to understand that all these studies are good for the for adoption of the Sapphire device. If experts come together and tell the whole world about, you know, how magnanimous the Sapphire device is, how superior the technology is, you know, when you compare it to other technologies like, you know, sequencing technologies or the old method of analyzing genomes. Those are what these studies are meant for, and this kind of studies can also help Bionano Genomics FDA approval. Okay, all these experts coming together and discussing, you know, what they have managed to do with the Sapphire device is going to help the case of Bngo to get FDA approved. Now this is what who is this in the, okay, this is what the CEO has to say about, you know, the second quarter. Let's quickly go through that. We believe our Q2 2022 results, which include record quarterly revenues for Bionano, show that the foundation we laid in 2021 has carried us into 2022, and that the great progress demonstrated by this quarter's growth in Sapphire system installed base reflect continued gains in market development and proof of concept. We were also pleased to see a number of presentations demonstrating OGM's utility at cancer and cytogenomics conferences across Europe and United States. And then he continued, he said, we remain on track to achieve all our previously outlined elevated milestones, okay, for the second half of this year. We believe all of these achieved and planned advancements, together with further validation of OGM utility supported by recent publications, lay the foundation for further penetration of our target market and revenue growth. So this is good. This is good, guys. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this. They are still on track. Okay, they are on track on to achieve all of these previously outlined elevate milestones. So that means during the Q4 of this year, we are going to be seeing the commercial version of the Sapphire, the latest Sapphire device. Okay, we're going to be seeing that, and then, you know, they are going to be, you know, telling us what we should expect for next year. So we just want to see the next generation Sapphire device, you know, and then the next generation consumables. Okay, and then we can see what is going on. Adoption, guys. Now Q2 2022 financial highlights. Total revenue, like I already shared with you guys, we are up about 73% from Q2 2021. This is very good, and a 17% increase from Q1 2022. Okay, this is small, but compare, you know, year over year, this is very good, 73%. Now gross margin for Q2 2022 was 22%, and compared to 37% for Q2 2021. Gross margin is not, I still have to check the gross margin from last quarter. The decrease was primarily, I need to check this because, you know, this is very small. Okay, gross margin, the decrease was primarily due to low yields in our cheap consumables produced at our contract manufacturer. Now Bionano Genomics needs to do something about these consumables. They need to do something about it, because since the fourth, I think it started from the third quarter of last year, you know, we are starting to see some problem with consumable, with the manufacturer of these consumables. They are giving Bngo some kind of headache. Okay, I don't know if it has to do with the supply chain bottleneck that is going on around the world with inflation and so on and so forth. Hopefully the CEO is going to talk more about what is going on with this. You know, we have about 14 minutes left for the earnings call. Hopefully the CEO is going to tell us more about this consumable problem, because I already shared with you guys at the beginning that I don't like this number. This, how many nano channel array flow cell they sold in Q2. This is very small. Okay, this is 3,394. I expect Bngo to be selling above 3,500 already. Okay, so this is disappointing. 24% growth over Q2 2021. Like I already shared with you guys, I don't like this. And as you guys can see, the CEO also made mention of it, that the reason why the gross margin for Q2 2022 was 22% was because of this cheap consumables produced at our contract manufacturer. They need to do something about it. Gross margin improved over the first quarter of 2022 of 15%. You guys can see this is very small, primarily due to improvement in chip yields. Okay, chip once again. All right, so Q2 2022 GAAP operating expense was $33.6 million compared to $17.9 million in Q2. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this. Okay, Bionano Genomics keeps employing. I think a lot of people want to work at Bionano Genomics right now. I'm not kidding. I think a lot of people want to work right now at Bngo, and just like last year January, okay, when the share price of Bngo moved, we saw a lot of interest, okay, on Bionano Genomics, way more than sequencing technology companies, way more than Illumina, Pac Bio, or whatever. So this right here is literally, we like us talking about Tesla. Okay, this is the Tesla of the genomic industry. So so expenses $33.6 million, literally doubled of what they spent last year Q1 2022 when they were broke. Okay, that was back after Q1 2021. Sorry, Q1 2021. That was when Bngo raised over $350 million. Okay, after the share price of Bngo moved. Now non-GAAP operating expenses 26.4. So you guys can already see that if they spent $26.4 million for non-GAAP and then $33.6 million, it means they use this for some of the share buybacks, for example, compensation for maybe the CEO, or granting shares for the board members, for example. We saw a lot of filings, okay, over the past weeks from internal buying, how do I even say it? Okay, so this difference is literally what Bngo spent, okay, to buy back some of those shares. Okay, now, and that is helping insider buying of Bngo. It's going to help how many shares Bionano Genomics employees own, which has been going higher. I think right now we are above 5%. Okay, now so at June 30th 2022 the company had cash and cash equivalents. So right now this is how much Bngo has. If you are not yet subscribed on my channel and you are invested in Bionano Genomics, if you have more than 1,000 shares, I have literally been begging you guys to become members of the channel. It costs about 99 cents. These are the things that I'm going to be tracking, because I want to know what is going on positively about this company. I want to know what is going on negatively about this company, and you guys need to be the first person to know. And you shouldn't expect me to make a negative video about Bngo. If I spot any red light, I'm just going to make a post for channel members, so that I can be clear, so that you guys are not gonna come back here and tell me, Dayo, you have been hyping this company. Now they have $187.3 million in cash. Okay, and if you guys look correctly, you can already tell in the second quarter they spent $33.6 million. If you times that by 4, you can already tell when they are going to literally run out of this cash, and then they are going to be doing share dilution. Okay, they are going to dilute some shares to raise fund to continue running the company, because this is a company and people are working there and they need money to run their business. Okay, and okay, so apart from us trying to make we retail investors, for example, trying to profit or support the mission of this company, you also have to know that a lot of families depend on this company. Okay, now so I think that is that. So Christopher Stewart, Chief Financial Officer of Bionano Genomics, added, he said, I quote, let's see what the CFO has to say. Q2 2022 was another outstanding quarter for Bionano. I am pleased with our 73% year-over-year revenue growth, which we achieved against a challenging macroeconomic backdrop. We believe this growth reflects the building excitement about Bionano solution that we are seeing in the market. Our capitalization remains strong with a cash equivalent and available for sale securities balance of $187.8 million as of June 30, 2022, and we maintain our full year revenue guidance range of $24 million to $27 million. Okay, so this is the guidance. They are maintaining their guidance for the for 2022, which is very good. They are not reducing it. Okay, this is very good. Everything is still on track. They are targeting $24 to $27 million, in total revenue for 2022. That is good. Okay, I mean the guidance is the same, nothing has changed. So I'm still going to go deep into all this right now. We have about 8 minutes before the earnings call. So thank you, Matt Stejka. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. You can already see a lot of posts that I have been making, buy zone, sell zone, and so on and so forth. So we have all this information right here. Total liability and stakeholder equity 300 and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna go through this. I think we already touched on all the most important parts. And total revenue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to update my. I think I'll make a separate video. God willing, I'm going to have enough time. I'm going to update what is going on right here. So we have Sapphire devices right now at I'm going to just plot this graph. So we are now at 100 and just a second. I'm going to move. Oh, I closed that thing. Bionano Genomics. Where is it? Okay, right here. So I need to update my chart of BNGO. We still have about 7 minutes before the earnings call. So Sapphire devices. We have increased the Sapphire device to 196. So I want to show you guys what is going on with BNGO install base. So I need to close this. Okay. I just want to plot the graph inside chart. I want to plot the graph of the difference, what is going on, so that we can see how the progress that Bionano Genomics has made so far. So this is it, guys. This is where we are. We are almost at 200 Sapphire device install base. So from 176 we jumped to 196. So like you guys can already see the chart. You can see the rally is there. Like I already said in my most recent video, we need a spike. Okay, we need a spike. We need Sapphire device. We need massive adoption of the Sapphire device. Now we are in the range of 20. We need to start to see like 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. That is when we're going to have a parabolic spike in the installed base of the Sapphire device, and that is going to be very bullish. Those are the things that I am tracking every quarter. I have nowhere to go. We are all here for the next 4 to 5 years, so no reason to be in a hurry. Those are the things that I am tracking. Once I spot it, I'm going to let you guys know. So that is the first one. I'm going to delete this. Now GAAP operating expenses. Okay, second quarter earnings, revenue, total revenue 6 points. So revenue was 6.7. So by I even put 6.5. So this is very good. They reported 6.7, and then GAAP operating expenses. Where is it? GAAP total revenue, GAAP operating expenses, $33.6 million. Okay, GAAP 36.6 million US, and then this is supposed to be 10. So we have about 5 minutes left. Non-GAAP operating expenses, we have non-GAAP $26.4 million. You guys can already see I am tracking all of these things because I don't want to be caught red-handed. I want to know where I am putting my money into. Okay, so you guys can already tell from last quarter in the Q1 of 2022. Okay, Bionano Genomics reported non-GAAP operating expenses of 24.3. So it has increased. In the fourth quarter of last year it was 22. Now last quarter it was 24, then 26. That is a difference of 2 million, I believe. Okay, now if you take a look at this is the GAAP operating expenses. This is very good. The GAAP operating expense is not really increasing, it's not really spiking. So in my opinion, this right here is good, and I believe the reason why this thing is increasing a little bit is because of this non-GAAP operating expenses. And like I already shared with you guys, this has to do with share buybacks, for example, compensation, and so on and so forth. And of course, BNGO, as they are increasing the head count little by little. Those are some of the information that I wanted to share with you guys, but we don't have enough time to talk about those things. So, and I think that is it, guys. I think that is it. So we have the Sapphire installed base. This right here is the old one. I'm going to delete it. We have the Sapphire device. We have the total revenue growth 2022. I'm going to 6.7. Okay, so this, you guys can see that in the look at that, guys. I already shared during my most recent video. I shared with you guys that every fourth quarter BNGO is making a spike. You can see in 2020 fourth quarter they spiked. Okay, 2021 fourth quarter, you can see the spike. So this is the second quarter and we are already above fourth quarter of what we brought in. So you guys can already tell revenue is increasing, but we need a spike. Of course, we need a massive spike. Okay, that is one thing I am waiting for, guys. I need that parabolic spike, whereby everybody are just going to FOMO into the shares of Bionano Genomics. Fear of missing out. Everybody will just be buying the stock. That is one of those the things that we saw last year, okay, during that massive rally. So We have about 3 minutes left before the earnings call. I'm going to read some of the comments so that we can at least, I can know what is going on with you guys.
The
Okay.
conference will begin shortly. To raise your hand during Q&A,
oh my God.
you can dial *11.
So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Let's cover some questions. We have about 2 minutes left before the continuous submission. So I'm going to go through the questions, the comment section and see. So Bngo after hours is not really bad. This is minus 3.8%. Like I already shared with you guys, I think this is literally what, you know, they reported what we are all expecting, what we already are aware of. No surprise. And of course they are maintaining the guidance. Okay, unlike, you know, the likes of Lucid, for example, you know, cutting their guidance by almost 50%. Bngo is maintaining their guidance for, you know, 2022, which in my opinion is very good. I mean, in my opinion, everything stays the same. So after hour is just down like minus 3.8%. I wasn't expecting any rally. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't expect any rally after hour. I just expect tomorrow to open normal and then the rally to continue. That's my expectation. I don't expect anything from this Q2. I just want to see what is going on, how many Sapphire devices they have managed to install, and so on and so forth. So that has been sorted out. Now so 30 minutes, any moment from now, we are going to have the earnings call. Yeah, Pac Bio also went down massively yesterday, like minus 8% or so, and then Okay, guys.
Good day and welcome to the Bionano Genomics second quarter 2022 earnings conference call. Today's conference is being recorded. At this time, I would like to turn the conference over to Amy Conrad from Investor Relations. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Victor, and good afternoon, everyone. Leading the call today is Dr. Eric Holmlin, the CEO of Bionano. He is joined by Bruce, CFO of Bionano. After market close today, Bionano issued a press release announcing its financial results for the second quarter of 2022. A copy of the press release can be found on the Investor Relations page of the company's website. I would like to remind everyone that certain statements made during this conference call may be forward-looking, including statements about strategic and commercial relations plans, anticipated benefits of products, including and NX clinical software, anticipated milestones for 2022, including progress on Elevate and each pillar of Elevate, advantages of the Sapphire system over current technologies, and Bionano's expectations regarding study results and anticipated benefits of these studies in driving adoption of OGM. Such forward-looking statements are based upon current expectations and there can be no assurances that the results contemplated in these statements will be realized. Actual results may differ materially from such statements due to a number of factors and risks, some of which are identified in Bionano's press release and Bionano's reports filed with the SEC. These forward-looking statements are based on information available to Bionano today, and the company assumes no obligation to update statements as circumstances change. In addition, to supplement Bionano's financial results reported in accordance with U.S. Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, or GAAP, the company is reporting non-GAAP operating expense. This non-GAAP financial measure is not meant to be considered in isolation or as a substitute for comparable GAAP measures. It should be read in conjunction with the company's consolidated financial statements prepared in accordance with GAAP, has no standardized meaning prescribed by GAAP, and is not prepared under any comprehensive set of accounting rules or principles. A description of non-GAAP operating expense and reconciliation of non-GAAP operating expense to GAAP operating expense are included at the end of the company's earnings release issued earlier today, which has been posted on the IR page of the company's website. An audio recording and webcast replay for today's conference call will also be online on the company's investor relations page. With that, I will turn the call over to Eric.
Thanks, Amy, and thanks everyone for joining the call today. We had an outstanding second quarter, and Chris and I are excited to talk to you about our key results and analysis for the quarter, and we also want to continue the deeper discussion of our growth strategy, Elevate, which we began on our last call. But first, I would like to talk about what we view as an absolutely spectacular publication on optical genome mapping, or OGM, which appeared in the peer-reviewed journal Leukemia on Monday. It describes a study that was conducted by leading oncologists and heme pathologists in which they used optical genome mapping and next-generation sequencing, or NGS, to determine the complete array of single nucleotide variants and structural variants for 101 subjects that had been diagnosed with myelodysplastic syndrome, or MDS, which is a hematologic malignancy that affects blood cell production. Now, the results show that when optical genome mapping was used instead of karyotyping, that 28% of the subjects in the study had either a different prognostic risk score or additional structural variations that were not found by karyotyping, or both. And when the results of an 81-gene NGS panel and those of optical genome mapping were combined, the findings indicated that at least one clinically significant clonal abnormality was found in 97 out of the 101 subjects. This research demonstrates that among the modalities tested, optical genome mapping and next-generation sequencing taken together provide the most comprehensive set of genome variants for MDS analysis in this study, and therefore suggest the potential for a new standard in cytogenetic and molecular analysis for heme malignancies altogether. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the second quarter results, and Chris will go into some more detail about them. Total revenue for the quarter was $6.7 million, which is another record for us and represents growth of 73% over the revenues from the second quarter in 2021. We sold 3,394 flow cells in the second quarter, which represents 24% growth over the second quarter of 2021, and we analyzed 373 samples in our laboratories, which represents 96% growth over Q2 2021. Finally, we ended the quarter with an installed base of 196 Sapphire systems, which represents 62% growth over the 121 systems installed at the end of the second quarter of 2021. Now, at this point, I'd like to turn the call over to Chris so he can go a little deeper into the financials for the second quarter. And after Chris's remarks, I'll discuss our growth strategy, Elevate, and provide some updates across its 5 strategic pillars. Chris?
Thanks, Eric. The second quarter of 2022 was another outstanding quarter for Bionano. As Eric mentioned, we recorded significant year-over-year revenue growth and continued growth in the installed base of our Saphyr OGM systems. We believe this reflects the building excitement in the market about the capabilities of OGM that is driving the momentum we are seeing. We couldn't be more pleased with the execution our team demonstrated despite the ongoing headwinds in the overall market. And we remain on track to achieve our full year 2022 revenue and instrument placement guidance. Revenue in the second quarter of 2022 was $6.7 million, representing an increase of 73% over the second quarter of 2021 and our highest quarterly revenue to date. We came in above our previous guidance range of $6.0 to $6.5 million for the quarter, mainly due to stronger than expected instrument sales in Europe and China and improved reimbursement in our clinical services business. Our gross margin in the second quarter came in at 22% compared to 37% in the second quarter of 2021 and 15% in the first quarter of 2022. As we have mentioned previously, the year-on-year decrease was primarily due to low yields on our chip consumables produced at one of our contract manufacturers. We are making good progress on improving yields, and we expect to see continued improvement in our gross margins in the coming quarters. Second quarter 2022 GAAP operating expense was $33.6 million compared to $17.9 million in the second quarter of the prior year. Our Q2 2022 non-GAAP operating expense was $26.4 million compared to $16.1 million in the second quarter of 2021. Q2 2022 non-GAAP operating expense excludes $5.8 million in stock-based compensation and $1.4 million in amortization of purchased intangibles. The year-over-year increase in OpEx was primarily due to increased headcount-related spending, increased R&D expense, and increased marketing expenses. Our capitalization remains strong with $187.3 million in cash equivalents, and available for sale securities as of June 30th, 2022. And as I mentioned in the beginning of my remarks, we are on track to achieve our full year revenue guidance in the range of $24 to $27 million. We expect Q3 revenue to be in the range of $6.7 million to $7.1 million. With that, I'll turn the call back over to Eric.
Great. Thank you, Chris, and great job. In addition to a generally improving macro environment in our target markets, we believe our Elevate strategy is working well. The optical genome mapping story is continuing to build, showing that not only can OGM be a powerful tool for identifying structural variants, but that when combined with next-generation sequencing, the two methods have the potential to address a number of challenges that cytogenetic and molecular pathology labs have been facing for decades. I'd like to spend the remainder of the call discussing our growth strategy, which we call Elevate, by drilling down into its strategic pillars and highlighting some of the key progress we've made. Now, the first pillar is expanding the commercial traction and validating optical genome mapping with Saphyr. Our goal for OGM is for it to become a standard tool used routinely for genomic applications in clinical, research, and industrial settings. To meet that goal, we need labs using OGM and talking about it. We believe expanding the install base of our Saphyr system gets that done. This quarter, we grew the install base to 196 systems, which puts us on track to hit our year-end goal of 240. And the addition of 20 systems in the second quarter is 67% higher than the 12 systems that were added in the first quarter of 2022. We believe the growing number of labs around the world with Saphyr systems is creating a community of OGM users that can help propel the methodology forward through their presentations and publications and workshops and advocacy throughout consortia and medical policy working groups. During the second quarter of 2022, OGM was part of the agenda and content at a number of conference events across the United States and Europe. We saw our first Spanish optical genome mapping user group meeting with over 100 participants, co-hosted by José Carreras Institute and Hospital del Mar in Barcelona. We have 8 Sapphire systems installed in Spain, and we are starting to see momentum there and believe others across Europe are watching closely. With all of the growth in installed base and the additional utilization that happens with it, there is more OGM data in the world. Those data get presented at meetings and eventually published, and we're really happy with the number of papers that have come out year to date. We appear to be on track to beat the number of 184 papers published last year, but something that really stands out to us in 2022 so far is the significant shift in the distribution of topics contained within these publications. Over the course of 2021, about 60% of papers that were published covered non-human applications of OGM and 40% covered human applications. Well, that picture has flipped in a year. And so now when we look at 2022 publications to date, it's actually 60% human. It's a really significant shift in the overall focus of OGM, much more towards human translational and human clinical research. And what we believe is that this shift is significant because we believe that these areas will drive more consumables utilization in the long run. And I also want to make a comment about what looking at publications really means. Publications are a leading indicator of future potential adoption, but they're a lagging indicator of the work that was happening at the time that they were published. So this picture that we're seeing now probably represents the distribution of utilization that's been happening over the last couple of years. And so when we think about the future, that distribution is going to shift a lot more towards human because that's where optical genome mapping is being adopted today. Now, the second pillar of Elevate is to delight our customers with robust products. We strive to learn from our customers and what might be done to improve the Sapphire system. Our product development pipeline currently includes a number of products that are designed to either simplify the optical genome mapping workflow, make it faster, or make it perform better. One exciting advance was the announcement in June of the Longstream Vantage system by us in Hamilton. This product would be the world's first walk-away automation solution for ultra-high molecular weight DNA extraction. We expect it to significantly reduce time to results for OGM, reduce hands-on time, and to improve OGM performance by standardizing the process connected to the DNA isolation. We have additional products planned for release later this year, including updates to our DNA isolation protocols and to our labeling chemistries, as well as the integration of optical genome mapping data into our NX clinical software platform. We believe all of these products will be transformative for our workflow and truly delight customers. Now, the third pillar centers on clearing the path for reimbursement of optical genome mapping and changing medical practice to include optical genome mapping into medical society guidelines. Our labs in San Diego, which are part of the Bionano Labs business, which also includes Lineagen, is planning to develop laboratory-developed tests, or LDTs, for optical genome mapping in genetic disorders and hematologic malignancies. we're working towards CLIA certification and plan to begin releasing LDTs once that process is completed later this year. We believe that these LDTs can help us work with third-party payers to obtain coverage for optical genome mapping assays. The path to reimbursement of LDTs by payers requires several key steps. We believe that an important step is obtaining a Category 1 CPT code. In the first quarter of this year, we submitted our application for a Category 1 CPT code for OGM. We received helpful feedback on the application, which was that, firstly, the American Medical Association would like us to resubmit the application and break it into two separate codes, one code for genetic disorder testing and one code for cancer. And I would like to add that this is how codes for other solutions like microarrays and sequencing have gone through the process. Secondly, they're looking to see more peer-reviewed publications on optical genome mapping, which is why we're so excited about publications like the one I talked about coming from MD Anderson. And specifically, they're looking for more publications that are coming from U.S. sites, as well as additional adoption of optical genome mapping. And so based on that feedback, which we thought was very constructive and positive, we decided to withdraw the application while we address these points, and we plan to resubmit the application in early 2023. Now, while we were hopeful that we could get the code approved on this first attempt, we understand that it's very common in this process for it to take more than one round of applications. And in the meantime, we know of labs with LDTs that are based on OGM that have attained so-called PLA codes or proprietary laboratory analysis codes, and they are now going through the process of establishing pricing for these codes. And we know of other labs that are using existing CPT codes and getting reimbursed for them. So this process will continue and be ongoing for us. Now, to achieve change in medical practice by getting optical genome mapping included into medical guideline, it's clear that we need data on thousands of samples showing the benefits of optical genome mapping over standard of care. And we're actively building that data and have been through our family of clinical studies. We believe if the results of these studies are compelling, that they could provide sufficient evidence to support optical genome mapping being incorporated into medical society recommendations and guidelines, which would make adoption of optical genome mapping even easier for labs that are following guidelines very closely. We've been making great progress in these clinical studies throughout the first half of 2022. As you may know, they are directed at four major areas: pre- and postnatal genetic analysis, hematologic malignancies, which includes leukemias and lymphomas, and solid tumors. Now, these studies are designed to demonstrate the utility of optical genome mapping as an alternative to traditional cytogenomic methods by evaluating these primary endpoints. Number one is concordance with standard of care, and there's a lot of evidence that's been demonstrating this concordance, but we're hopeful that these studies will demonstrate that through close to 1,000 patients in each of the arms. Number two is to increase the success rates for finding pathogenic variants. And so what we know is that traditionally in laboratories practicing cytogenetics, 50% or more of the time, samples are returned with no findings of pathogenic events. And so if we can improve upon that, we think that it's going to be an important factor in inclusion in these guidelines. Thirdly, we are evaluating the health economic impact of optical genome mapping. We know that it streamlines workflows, and we believe that that streamlining process reduces costs, but we will also look at the efficiency of performing optical genome mapping and its success rates compared to other platforms and technologies that are in use routinely. And fourth, we'll be looking at the potential for revising protocols for patient management. And that type of outcome is something that was measured in the MD Anderson study. And so we know that we have the potential to make significant progress there. Now, 3 of the 4 studies in our portfolio are underway, and the 4th, which will cover solid tumors, will begin initially in the 4th quarter of this year. 2 key milestones that were anticipated and previously announced for the second half of 2022 are to complete our postnatal study and start the interim publication on our prenatal study. And we believe we're on track with both of those anticipated milestones. Now, the 4th pillar of Elevate is to advance our product to support higher market adoption and entry into new markets. We've been working on new products, 2 very important ones. One is a version of our NX clinical software, which was developed by BioDiscovery, and our new version will integrate optical genome mapping alongside the other data types that are in use today. And I can tell you that when we've been talking about this capability at conferences, including at a very productive meeting we had recently at the Cancer Genomics Consortium annual meeting, that users see this single view for data analysis as being something that has a lot of power for them, and so they're very excited about it. We've been making progress with the software. It's begun an evaluation process with our clinical team as they use it to start analyzing their clinical studies data. We expect that team's feedback to propel additional development in this release of software, and we believe that that release is on track for the end of this year. Another very significant product that we're working on is the next generation version of our Sapphire system. We are pleased with the progress on this system that we've made so far, and we look forward to placing pre-commercial version of that platform by the end of this year. In addition to the higher throughput that that system offers, it will include random sample access that should allow for short turnaround time or stat processing, and the ability to scale from 1 to 6 systems working in unison, which would bring about another dramatic increase in throughput overall. We also expect that to be part of an integrated workflow with automation of sample preparation and this new version of the NX clinical software. So our product development pipeline is robust, and there are a number of catalysts that will be released into the market going forward. And finally, as the 5th pillar of Elevate, we're focused on making software a strategic driver of our business. In addition to working on integrating optical genome mapping within NX Clinical, the software itself is a very powerful platform that can be used in a broad array of genomics applications, even if it doesn't involve optical genome mapping, such as applications with microarrays or next-generation sequencing. In fact, we believe anyone using microarrays or whole genome sequencing or NGS panels would benefit from using NX Clinical software for a number of applications, including detection of copy number variations and their analysis, together with the analysis of single nucleotide variants. We also believe many of these labs will have an interest in OGM. And in Q1, we launched a version of NX Clinical with an integrated genomic scar analysis for homologous recombination deficiency, or HRD. And this feature provides comprehensive, consistent, and automated analysis of biomarkers from NGS as well as microarray, and in fact, we'll be able to determine HRD scores using OGM as well. And all of this will help clinical researchers stratify therapeutic response across multiple tumor types. And so what I hope you will see is that this software platform is something that can really open doors independently of its ability to analyze optical genome mapping data, and we see that as a driver of future growth for Bionano. And so in closing, I want to reiterate that we are really excited about our continued growth in 2022. As I mentioned earlier, we are on track with all of our outlined Elevate milestones, and we look forward to updating you on our progress going forward. We would also like to share that we are in the early stages of planning for an investor event that we will hold in the first quarter of 2023. And there will be more information to come about that. So with that, operator, I would like to turn it over to you and open the floor to questions.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 11 on your telephone keypad. If you are using a speakerphone, please make sure your mute function is turned off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Again, press star 11 to ask a question. One moment for questions. Our first question comes from the line of Jason McCarthy from Maxim Group. Your line is open.
Hey guys, this is Michael Kunowicz on the line. Thank you for taking the questions and congrats on the quarter.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Michael.
So, first, I guess I want to touch a bit more on the data from that MD Anderson study. And if you could talk about what sort of variants were detected by Sapphire that were missed by genetics, and how having this new information could potentially or did in the study change physician treatment decisions.
Yeah, it's pretty darn interesting, and I like that you picked up on it because, MD Anderson is just a household brand name in cancer, and so when these researchers take on a project, they do it knowing that there'll be an expectation of significant impact, and I think this study is really compelling on a number of different levels. And so, some of the results that we called out and talked about are connected to really the workflow in analyzing MDS patients, which, as you know, and I want to say to everybody who's listening in, can be thought of as really a kind of pre-leukemia. And so the chances of a good outcome if MDS is caught early and properly stratified are good. And so what Dr. Shamana Kanagal showed in this paper was that when they used karyotyping, they were able to classify patients according to what medical guidelines recommended into risk categories, so-called prognostic risk categories, low, medium, and high, and there are some finer grades to that risk stratification. And they compared that prognostic risk score or stratification when karyotyping was used to the score that they obtained when optical genome mapping was used. And there are a couple of different scoring systems that exist in the community. One is CCSS, abbreviated, one is IPSS. And remarkably, for one of those scoring systems 21% of the study subjects had a different prognostic score when OGM was used compared to when karyotyping was used. And for one of the other scoring systems, 17% of study subjects had a different score. And so think about what that means. Your oncologist thinks that you have MDS and is trying to figure out how to manage you, and they rely heavily on these risk scores. And so when the standard of care is used, you get one risk score, and when optical genome mapping is used, you get another one. Now, importantly, these researchers rigorously used orthogonal methods to confirm that all of the findings by OGM were validated and accurate. And so it means that the standard of care is lumping people into these risk categories incorrectly, which in turn means that they're not being treated or managed correctly. And so I can't really think of a more impactful finding for OGM. And if it was one patient out of 100 or something like that, that would still be noteworthy, but we're talking about up to 20%. Now, in addition to those, or up to 21% actually, so in addition to those 21%, there's another segment of patients for whom additional structural variants were identified that, again, the traditional methods did not pick up. And I think that that number was also significant, like about 13% of patients. So when you add all of the unique study subjects together who had findings that were different from the standard of care, it adds up to 28%. So it just means that 28% of patients in this study, certainly, and maybe you might extend that to others, but certainly this study showed that for 28% of subjects, the standard of care is not giving the same answer as OGM, and it's reasonable to conclude that the OGM answer is the correct answer based on the rigorous validation that was conducted. I think that that's pretty earth-shattering and significant.
Yeah, that's certainly a profound result. As a follow-up, I'd like to shift gears and just ask a bit about, you mentioned improving macro factors for the business. Could you expand a bit on what you mean by this? Is this largely COVID-related stuff, or are there other factors at play here?
Yeah, I mean, so we talked during the first quarter about, that we were able to grow the install base by 12 systems in the first quarter, and that we had some systems waiting to be installed. And we felt that one of the factors that might have been giving us a little bit of headwind there, we knew was COVID and some of the staffing shortages. And so, we've seen access to labs improve in general, but there are a number of factors that are broader, including supply chain shortages and COVID overall, that are still in play. But our access to laboratories has opened up, and that's allowed us to get back to, I think, a more typical cadence. We grew the number of, the growth of the install base was 67% higher in the second quarter than it was in the first quarter. So access to labs helped that.
All right, thank you very much. And just one more, if you don't mind. I wanted to ask about the health economic analyses in your clinical program, and specifically how important those are when talking about securing reimbursement, not just for Bionano, but also for some of the third-party LDTs. Many of the developers of those, as you mentioned, currently have PLA codes and are looking into pricing. So could you just comment on that a bit?
Yeah, I mean, health economic analysis is kind of a standard endpoint in driving guidelines, and so I know that these clinical studies that we're conducting are going to benefit the process of clearing the path for reimbursement, but I do want to be clear that their design is really intended to provide the evidence necessary for the key opinion leaders and others who are involved in these medical societies to really develop recommendations and integrate optical genome mapping into the standard of care, and we're hopeful that one day it would become a first-tier platform that is recommended for use. But health economic factors will also play into the stance that payers take in terms of how they cover the assay, and a number of factors connected to broader adoption of optical genome mapping. Now, with regard to labs that are seeking coverage and reimbursement for their PLA codes, this is something that they conduct on their own, and we don't get directly involved in it because, as you know, optical genome mapping with the Sapphire system is this is a research use only platform. But what I know about that process is that it tends to follow gap filling, and so the labs will work out a detailed cost analysis of what it takes them to perform to generate the test result, including the cost of reagents and instruments, but really the all-in, fully burdened cost, and so that's going to have a large factor in the crosswalk process and the pricing of these PLA codes. And I know that process is ongoing for labs, and I expect that we'll be hearing more about it. I'd like to say that it's going to happen this year, and I believe it will, but we don't have a definitive sense of that timeline, so we're not going so far as to commit to anything like that, and it's really out of our hands. But health economic factors will really influence the guidelines, and they can begin to drive value-based pricing. PLA codes will be priced in a crosswalk process.
All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the additional color.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not showing any further questions in the queue. I'd like to turn the call back over to Eric for any closing remarks.
Well, thank you, Victor, and thank you to everyone who joined the call. We look forward to updating everyone on our Q3 results.
And this concludes the conference call for today. Thank you for participating.
Okay.
You may now disconnect. Everyone, have a great day.
Okay, so this is strange. This is strange, guys. So we have only Jason McCarty from Maxim Group asking question. Where are the remaining analysts? Where is this analyst from BTIG? Where is analyst from Oppenheimer? We had only Jason McCarty, guys. This is the first time I'm seeing this. I mean, since I've been listening to their earnings call since the first quarter of last year, we've been having 3-4 analysts, but we had only one analyst today. That is very strange. I don't know why, but that is very strange. Anyway, so Bionano Genomics after hour is down about -6%. Like I told you guys yesterday, Pac Bio was down almost 10%, and today Pac Bio went up massively, almost 23% today, before retracing back a little bit. And I already shared with you guys that these earnings don't really matter right now. You guys have to understand that we have been rallying for the past 2 weeks or so, and the share price has been going higher and higher. If you take a look at this is the let me take a look at the 5 days. Look at the 5 days. We used to be at $1.84 at the beginning of this month, and then we closed in at 2.36 US dollars, almost 2.5 US dollars at one point. So I mean, if you bought the dip, then that was a good I think we are up about 75% so far since the bottoming. So anyway, Bngo, we just have to wait to tomorrow to see what's gonna happen. It's too early to tell what's gonna happen. You cannot just, only if you are trading after hours or before market open. I don't think you can take a look at. You can just make a decision based on what is happening in after hours. So that is that about that. And you also have to remember that there seems to be a very strong support at $2 US. Since we broke it, we haven't retested it. I'm not saying we're going to go back to $2 US, but what I'm trying to say is this doesn't really matter right now. What you need to pay attention to is what is going on with Bionano Genomics adoption. Okay, after this landmark study from MD Anderson Cancer Center, you have to understand that there is a possibility that BNG is going to be reporting massive number of installed base of the Sapphire device. Right now, Bionano Genomics has literally, they have successfully increased. I mean, every quarter now we are seeing, about install base, we are seeing about 20 difference. Look at that. Here we had 23, last quarter was 12, but this quarter is 20. So I'm gonna add this here. So this quarter is 20. As you guys can see the difference. Now we need to keep this up. Third quarter of last year was 24. We need to approach 30, then we need to approach 35, 40, 45, 50. That is when we are going to see that spike in revenue, in total revenue. And also, somehow the CEO didn't make mention of what I already shared with you guys. Where is it? I was expecting him to talk about the consumables, because the result of the consumable is not really encouraging. They managed to sell about 3,394 nano channel array flow cells, and of course they said it's due to the supplier. Maybe investors, you guys have to understand that we are just retail investors. We are not really making massive impact like that. Okay, maybe institutional investors love what they see or not, I don't know, because you would expect after such an earning, BNG should go down massively, but they are not going down massively. I think we can see a decent, still I'm still hopeful that tomorrow there's a possibility that we're going to see a decent rally. So I was expecting the CEO to a little bit talk about why this nano channel array flow cell is not up to 3,500, and but unfortunately he didn't say anything about that. From my chart you guys can see the nano channel flow cells. Okay, I'm going to put it here, 3,003 something. What is it once again? 3,000, how many flow cells? 3,394 flow cells. Okay, so I'm going to add this 3,394. This is 14. I'm going to increase this to 14. So you guys can already tell that we are more or less stocked. Okay, BNG is stocked at the only Q3 2021 was a very good quarter. This is what we need to be seeing, something like Q2 2021, when we increased the install base by 24 Sapphire devices, okay, from 121 to I don't think this is correct. So you guys can see that the flow sales in Q3 was also closer to 4,000, but since then we have been having problems. Since the fourth quarter of this last year, we've been having problem with the flow sales. Okay, according to BNGO, they said it's because of the supplier, the manufacturer. So we need to see this increasing. I mean, by now we should be seeing like closer to above 4,000 flow sales. Okay, I mean, this is one thing, one negative thing that I'm not really happy about. Of course the company is not yet profitable, but we need to be seeing some good and also the expenses. Some of you guys in the comment section are talking about the expenses that they are burning a lot of cash and so on and so forth. I'm like 50-50 whenever it comes to expenses, because they are employing a lot of talented people, and this is a growth, in my opinion, this is a growth stock, and I believe that's why most of you guys are also into this company. This is a growth story. Okay, they need to employ talented employees. They need to find talent so that these guys can help them to grow the company. It's as simple as that. So I'm 50-50. I don't like that they are increasing their revenue, but at the same time they need to also grow. We have, in my opinion, we have about 12 months to know where this company is heading towards. And you guys already know I have made over 500 videos about Bionano Genomics, and I'm going to keep covering it. In the next 12 months, we are going to know what is going to happen with this company. And for those of you wondering if next 12 months is enough to make profit, if you are retail investors, I believe you guys want to make a lot of money. You should, I mean, if you bought the dip, you should already make a lot of profit by now. If not, if you have your average way above $5 and so on and so forth, I believe we are still going to get to that level. But in the next 12 months, we are going to see where this company is heading towards, because you guys already tell they have about 180 something million, 84 million US dollars, I believe, left. Okay, cash, they have about 184 million US dollars left, and that money, like somebody said in the comment section, I believe he's right, we have about 1.5 years before they burn that money. So we are going to see what's going to happen once this next generation Sapphire device comes out, we are going to see the adoption rate. We are going to see the revenue, how much is going to increase, in the next 12 months. And those are the things that is going to determine where Bionano Genomics is going to be in 2024. So I remain bullish. I am not worried right now. We still have about 4 to 5 quarters, in my opinion, before we can really see what is going to happen with BNGO. If they are going to make, of course, we are talking about expenses, because they have less than $200 million in cash. If they are going to dilute the shares once again or not, stock offering and so on and so forth. So I think in the next 4 quarters, I don't see anything like that happening, except if we see a massive rally to the upside. So now we are all focused about adoption. We want Bionano Genomics, adoption, the Sapphire device adoption to increase so that the total revenue can increase. Okay, that is what we are all, hoping for. So Q4 2022, Q1, Q2 2022. So yeah, I think that is that about that, guys. Let me know what you guys think about it, of course, in the comment section, and please consider subscribing if you are not yet a subscriber. I think I'm going to end the video right here. It's over 1 hour already. I remember by Dayo. This is Frunkla. I'm going to read the cash bond. I have a lot of things to share with you guys, but I think I'll just make a separate video because I haven't even covered half of everything that I opened right here. You guys can see I have about 10 pages open. I was hoping to be, as fast as possible. I was hoping to cover all these things, but we were only able to talk about the MD Anderson Cancer Center. So I think that is it for today, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for checking in. And what is the name of this? So Matt, thanks for becoming member of the channel. And I think that is it. See you guys in the next one. I remain your boy Dayo. This is Frunkla. Ciao. I'm out.